In a cozy little bakery filled with cheerful treats, Dowie never felt satisfied. While the other cookies smiled and enjoyed their day, Dowie focused on everything that felt wrong. But one unexpected moment changes how Dowie sees the world. Hello and welcome back. It's our book chat. ATinuke Olajide is a children's book author, and of course, she is here for the review of her book, The Cookie Who Always Complained. ATinuke, it's great to have you. You're welcome.
Good morning.
Yeah. So, you see, you've been involved in child education for a very long time.
Yes.
Right? Just before getting into this book, let's talk about you. Where did the passion come from to be a child educator, and how did it start for you?
Okay, so growing up, I always knew I loved children, I loved babies, babysitting. And there was a day I volunteered at my son's school for Teacher's Day. And that was the day, I think the year was 2018.
Okay.
So I volunteered at the school. He was 3 at the time, was in preschool. And from that day, I just knew that, okay, I wanted to do this.
To do this?
Yes. So I volunteered for the whole day, and it felt natural.
What did you do when you volunteered that day?
I read books to the children, we played, I fed them. I was there the whole day, so everything, I was like the teacher for that day, then their teacher was the assistant. So that really, and after that day, I just felt like, and even the teacher told me, she said, "You're a natural, I think you should look into this." I was like, are you serious? So after then, I did my NYSC, and I was like, I needed to go into teaching. So I did my NYSC, I did teaching during my NYSC. And after that, I just took
and then how? And then as it started for you, what lessons have you learned being a child educator? Because look, it's one of the hardest jobs in this life. I know what I'm saying. I have nephews. I've been with kids all around. Yeah. It is hard. What are the lessons that you've learned being a child educator?
Okay, I've learned that you know how we were raised, you know, the traditional way.
Yeah,
I've learned that children need patience. Like, you need to be you cannot be a teacher without being patient, and also for parents. And it has also helped me with my own child. Like, patience is very important. You know, a lot of times, this is their first time, like they don't know. So if you're teaching them something today, they don't get it. You just need to be patient. So I've learned that you just need to be patient with children. All right, wonderful.
Now, this is the first of a book series, right?
Yes.
And why did you decide to write this book?
This particular book?
Yeah,
this particular book. The moral lesson in this book is to stop complaining, right? Be grateful. And so what inspired this book is really about my time in the classroom, right? Children usually complain. Maybe their friend has beads in her hair. I don't have bead in my hair. Or my friend brought this to school. I don't have this. And that just made me, so all the other series are also about a moral lesson, right? So seeing children struggle with different behaviors in the classroom just made me, okay, I want to make my books about that.
Wonderful. Let's get into the book. The Cookie Who Always Complained. And you know, it's very easy. So you start with "My name is," and I own this, but why do you have to do this?
Okay, so I honestly, because I did illustrations myself, right? So I just felt like I wanted it to be different. Instead of just put a line, say write your name. I wanted it to feel personal for the children.
I like that.
So and I've had a few kids, you know, write their name and they like it. They really like, oh, my name is. So it sort of makes you feel like you take ownership of the book. Like, okay, yes, this is my book. Unlike someone just giving you a book and everything.
A book and all of that.
I don't honestly. I just felt like
it does. It does.
Really
yes. I even as I see it here, it has that. It's personalized. There's that personalization. So if I put it there, I know that it is.
The moment they see, they want to write their name.
It
like,
is
okay,
my
yes,
own.
My name is this, and
you know, this is a story about. I don't want to read you the whole story so that you can go and get the book. How is it that? How can one use this book to teach? So, for instance, maybe parents at home, can it be used in schools?
Yes.
Can it be used at home? How do they use it?
Okay. So some schools have bought this, and I've done some readings in schools.
In schools, yeah.
So, and when I do the readings, at the end of the reading, what I tell the children is, okay, from today, stop complaining. What are you thankful for? So I ask them, what are you thankful for? Instead of complaining about this, you know, you should be thankful for this. So I think that is how parents and teachers can use it. You tell the kids, after reading it, at the end of the book, you see that it is important to be grateful for what you have. You may not look like your friend, but you should know that you are okay, you're perfect just the way you are.
Just where you are. When, you know, that thing is, you mentioned a situation. Now, when a kid comes to you and says, oh, this girl looks like this, because her parents did that.
It happens a lot in the classroom.
Tell me, how do you deal with it?
So, basically, I just tell them. So, kids have come, like, oh, they want their hair to be like this. That's something girls complain about a lot in the classroom, hair. Maybe they didn't put bead in their own hair, and everybody, I've had a time when all the girls had bead except one girl, and she didn't like that, but maybe her parents had reasons for not putting bead in her hair at that point.
Yeah.
So I just had to tell her, your hair is beautiful. Maybe mommy doesn't want to put it, today, but at some other time, because you've had bead in your hair before, but this time she doesn't want to do it. So I had to convince her that her hair is beautiful. She is very beautiful with or without the bead. So so in other scenarios, that's just what I do. Just convince them. And children, they listen to you, right? They believe. So it's what you tell them that they're going to believe. So I just try to convince them that, okay, you're okay the way you are. This is okay. You may not look like your friend, but just know you're perfect the way you are.
Now, there's this thing that they say that children listen here, but they normally would react to what you do. You know, that they observe actions a lot. Yes. So as much as you're telling them, they look at you, they see what you do, and they try to mirror what you do and all of that. In such a scenario, how do parents and also teachers, how do they get the best from kids in that way? Not just by telling them, but how should they behave around kids in such a way so that they're understanding that whatever they do, kids will even mirror it more than even what they say?
Yes. So kids learn more from mirroring, actually. It's what they see you do. So in the classroom, what we do, and I think parents should also do this, when we teach some certain things in the classroom, we make the children act it out. And teachers, we also act it out. So if for example, I'm teaching you today what sharing, this is how to share. So I also call a colleague of mine, okay, I'm eating my snack today, even when it's not during that lesson, but maybe during lunchtime, you just make sure they are in the area. You say, oh, I'm sharing with you, I'm going to, so just, and whatever you are doing, say it out loud so they know. Sometimes they may see you doing something, but they don't understand
what it is.
Yes, so as I'm doing something, I want them to see it, but I may not even look at them, but I'll just be saying, okay, I am doing this right now. This is how to do it. So that way, even if they are playing, trust me, kids, they may be playing, but they are listening to you. They can see everything that you're doing.
Wonderful.
So that's just how we do it.
All right. So now, this is the first in the series. Are we expecting more?
Oh, definitely.
What's the plan? How often would we get to see these books?
Okay. So the other ones, so it's going to be 4, right? This is the first one.
This is the first one.
More.
Okay.
I'm actually done with the other ones.
You're done, okay.
I haven't printed them yet.
Okay.
So, and I didn't want to release the second one, then give some time. So I finished everything, but I just haven't printed them. So I want to print the remaining 3 at the same time.
And they all come out
together.
So they'll
all be together in a bundle.
In a series and in
exactly.
a bundle. You know, this is quite wonderful. There's something I noticed about you. You are very cheerful and playful also, right? And the way you relate, you seem like a kid yourself. Yes. Is that a trait that is necessary when you really want to get the best out of kids? Somehow, as though it seems as you are like one of them.
Yes.
How important is that trait when it comes to teaching and raising kids?
Okay. So there's something called play-based learning in the classroom. And that is when you teach something while playing. You know, if children, because they are kids, they are very active. So if you tell a child to sit down and you're trying to teach them something, you'll get the most out of that child if you're playing. If you, for example, you want to teach numbers, you can also sit down sometimes, definitely, but you can, instead of bringing the numbers and say, this is this number, you can put the numbers all over the room and say, okay, let's jump to this number, and then we say the number. That way, the child, trust me, the child is going to remember faster that way compared to if you just sit down and say, this is one you must. So, and
for those of us who are of the older generation that believe that do not spare the rod and spoil the child, you don't. Do you flog?
No, no.
There's no flog?
No. It doesn't do anything really. It doesn't. It doesn't work.
It doesn't do anything. So we should not
doesn't
flog.
work. Because if you're talking to a child and you're screaming, okay, let me ask you a question. So I know you're the one interviewing me,
Yeah.
but as an adult, if someone is shouting at you, trying to tell you something, do you hear them?
But that's an adult, not kid.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Okay,
It
okay.
shouldn't work. Like if you're shouting, trying to get your points across,
All
they're
right.
just going to. They may shy away. They will just go into their shell, right?
Their shell. Wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful. Hope you're able to pick up something from that. So me, I've learned from what ATinuke said. I have breakfast. Let me share my breakfast with ATinuke.
Thank you.
That's how they do it, right? Okay, so
Thank
Titi and
you.
Remy are in the kitchen. Let's head over there and get to...